President Biden began his term with a promise.
America is back.
But what about defense? Since World War II, America's military hasn't left, and the U.S. government has always given the Pentagon a major share of its budget.
Our security is based on being prepared.
For there is no substitute for adequate defense.
And I think the American people understand.
Our first priority is the military.
The greatest people in the world.
And we owe it to the people in uniform to make sure that we adequately provide
a defense capability second to none.
We must not go back to the days of the hollow army,
when our military was left ill-prepared for the future.
This means, unfortunately, a
careful long-term
increase in our commitment for defense.
This will be the largest increase in defense spending
in American history.
The U.S. spent $716 billion this year.
We are now spending more on our military,
a sum which is about equal to the combined defense budget
than the next
10 countries combined.
6 of which are close allies like Britain and France.
And which represents more than half of our discretionary spending.
Another statistic. Last year's Pentagon budget was bigger than the next 11 cabinet departments combined. This isn't new, and neither is public criticism.
Taxpayers, as well as members of the House and Senate, are asking questions.
Why not cut our defense budget?
The calls for cutting back the defense budget come in nice, simple arithmetic.
Well, let's look at the facts.
It is true that we can responsibly reduce our defense budget.
But we must never forget.
It will still grow.
It's going to cost more money.
Because we have global responsibilities that demand our leadership.
But how does that money translate into a plan? Les Aspin, who would go on to become President Clinton's Secretary of Defense, struck close to a formula.
All right, what are the vital foreign interests that the United States has that we want to defend? Our vital national security interests. And from that, derive the forces necessary to defend those areas.
We like to think that this is how the government has done things, but it's not.
Since Vietnam, our record has been perfect. We have never once gotten it right.
The government has not gotten it right because it can't bring itself to take Les Aspin's advice and define what is and is not a vital foreign interest. This has sent our military to places unforeseen and underprepared.
I've been a horrible prophet. I have never fought anywhere I expected to in all my years.
Part of our $87 billion budget provided for us to have some secondary armor put on top of our thin-skinned Humvees. This armor was made in Iraq. It's high-quality metal, and it will probably slow down the shrapnel so that it stays in your body instead of going clean through. And that's about it.
Here's the problem. Bigger defense budgets don't make us safer. Better decisions about why we use force make us safer. This is why most Americans would rather we stop trying to spend our way to certainty.
Rather, we should spend enough for defense, but we should also consider what our goals are and what really we stand for as a people. Take that money.
If this sounds familiar, it's because it's Les Aspin's common sense formula that we would like our elected officials to use. A recent survey by the Eurasia Group Foundation found that a plurality of Americans, Republicans and Democrats alike, preferred a less militarized foreign policy and would rather spend resources securing domestic sources of national strength.
I think keep the money at home.
President Biden often says,
"Don't tell me what you value. Show me your budget, and I will tell you what you value."
The American people have told their representatives what they value, rebuilding America's strength at home. It's time for the Biden administration to make America's budget reflect those values. Then America's back can truly move the country forward.